You see the whiteboard, you see me, your host, Barney, the host extraordinary of the Show Show. So you know we're about to do another episode of Each One, Teach One here on the Show Show. Because I am so smart and so intelligent and I'm so giving that I will allow you all this information that is built inside of me from high above and give it to you for nothing, for free, because I love you, because I'm already beautiful. I really want 2008 to be a much more beautiful year than 2007. If you're not already aware, Philadelphia is just on fire. There's too much going on. People are just gloomy and angry and sullen and depressed. And I want to do what I can to make sure that 2008 is a much better year. Now, all of us want to, we got an election coming up, but also important things to decide our future. And people always want to make the world a better place, but don't have any plan. But you know what? I have a plan, and I'm about to disseminate it to you. I have thought hard and long, and I come up with a conclusion. 85 to 90% of the terrible things that happen on this planet are the cause of one group of people. And I feel like if we can somehow slowly start to decrease the numbers in this group, and its opposing group can improve on its standing in the world, we will have a much happier and safer world. Not just the United States, the entire globe. What is this group called? This group is known as ugly people. Take it in. Take it in. I just said it. Ugly people account for 85 to 90% of the terrible things that happen on this planet. Just believe me, if scientific studies have proven it, don't question me right now. Just listen, okay? It's true. It is a shame that beautiful people, such as myself and my family members, and the beautiful people out there who watch the Show are forced to live in a world where we are outnumbered by ugly people. They're so sad and angry. They make this world a sad and angry place. These ugly people. So what can we do to make sure that the number of ugly people starts to decrease and the number of pretty people starts to increase? Well, there's really nothing we can do about the ugly people that already exist. But there's something we can do about the ugly people that may come in the future. And what we must now do, pretty people, is make sure that pretty people no longer breed with ugly people. This is very, very important for the future of the entire globe. If pretty people can stop breeding with ugly people, we can make less ugly people. I will explain this. I know sometimes if you're pretty, sometimes you're in a bad space. Sometimes you're lazy. Sometimes you're looking at inner beauty. All those things are terrible. It's almost like world treason to even believe those things, okay? You must stay focused on what is good for mankind. Pretty cannot breed with ugly. Okay, here's what happens. Break it down for you. Simon, engineer, break it down for you in some type of formula. Here you go. Pretty, when it breeds with pretty, usually gives you pretty. The chances are you will get pretty if two pretty people breed together. So, if pretty people can focus on breeding only pretty people, we can make more pretty people, saving the world in its process. Now, with ugly, merges, breeds, whatever, with ugly, sometimes there's a small percentage that you can still get pretty. And I don't know how this happens, but everybody out there knows two ugly people and they have a beautiful son or daughter. And you can't explain it. Now, ugly people have to, be with somebody. The least they can do is find another ugly person to be with, and even while I take that small percentage of the chance that they can create a pretty person. We got to do that, If they don't do it with somebody, why not be with another ugly person? Here's what you cannot do. Pretty people cannot merge with ugly people because it creates an ugly person. Pretty DNA, ugly DNA don't like each other. And when you create more ugly people, you're creating a world of war and famine and disease. These ugly people are the ones that make that happen. If we reduce the number of ugly people on the planet we will have a much better place. The problem is, as I see it, is that the other people in the world who are not involved in that relationship and see the merging of two people don't get involved. And this is where each of us can have a say-so and a number of ugly people versus pretty people on the planet. Here is something you should always do. If you happen to see a pretty person engaged in relations with an ugly person, speak up. Okay? Talk to them. Let them know that this is human treason. Okay? All you are doing is ruining the world. Sometimes they're not aware of that, but it is your job as a citizen of the globe to speak up to them and say, hey man, you can't do this, okay? You're creating ugly people. You do that. That's your right. As a citizen of the world, you must do this. Here's something else you must do. Sometimes, and this I don't understand why, ugly people, for some reason, think they're pretty. And whether you are ugly or pretty, you must check this. You must check this and say, hey buddy, you are not pretty, you are ugly. Whether you are pretty or ugly, you have to check this ugly person and put them in their place. Because if they think they're pretty, right, they'll go, well, oh, well, Barry said pretty and pretty makes pretty. Wait a minute, you're not pretty, you're ugly. And you gotta make sure that the other person knows what lane to stay in for the betterment of all mankind. There are other times, and this is strange to me, where pretty people don't know that they're actually pretty. They have self-esteem problems. Their parents didn't tell them they was cute, okay? And it's a shame. It is an absolute shame. But you know what happens? The pretty people who think they're ugly, they listen to me and say, well, I am ugly. I should go merge with an ugly person. Hey, buddy! What are you doing? You are pretty. Somebody has to tell that pretty person, hey, what are you doing? You're beautiful. You can't mate with that beast over there. He beast, she beast, whatever beast it may be. You're a beautiful person, and you should breathe only with beautiful people so we can increase the number of pretty people on the planet and thus save the world. And also, for people out there, sometimes you see a pretty person and you're like, this is the one Barry's talking about. Sometimes research is necessary. You gotta find out if the parents are pretty, because as I told you already, sometimes the ugly parents can make pretty children. You must do a little research if you want to take it to that next level. But at least be aware that pretty and pretty is good. Ugly and ugly can sometimes make pretty, so we'll accept that. But pretty and ugly is always a bad thing. If you do that, treason on the entire globe. You're terrorists. And if you think I'm saying something crazy, and that's fine, you could say that. I want you to close your eyes. Close them tight. And imagine a world that is beautiful and is utopia and everything is lovely. Do you have that picture? Are there any ugly people there? I rest my damn case.